Good morning, gentlemen, and happy Wednesday to you guys.
Oh, hey, listen, we are live here in Huntsville, Alabama, where PELC is happening.
Yes, it is. It is happening.
It is happening as we speak. But we've experienced so many wonderful presentations, and this morning with Pastor Fordham. What a powerful word, man. What a powerful word.
We know what's next. We know what's now.
Yep.
We know what's next. The upper room, man.
And that upper room experience is so critical. I'm praying for the Holy Spirit to give us wisdom on how to proceed and how to go and how to flow. And so thank God for Pastor Ford. He said it was the third ram in the...
Oh, in the thicket. Yeah. Hey, look, before we get in too far on that, let's welcome our audience today. They might not know what we're doing, where we are, what's happening. I know they can see the tag underneath or over top the video or underneath in the description. But we have the honor and the privilege of being here in Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama, at the annual, I think I heard them say it's the
43rd.
43rd
right.
Annual PELC. It didn't used to be called PELC. Some of you may be familiar with it back in the day as Evangelism Council, but it is a gathering of clergy, ministers, chaplains, pastors, Bible workers, sometimes even lay elders, lay pastors from all over North America, even the world. We've got folk that typically come from Bermuda, that come from England, that come from, they can hardly hear us.
All right. Let's see if I can. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear?
Okay, yeah. Let us know if that's any better.
Is that better?
Any better?
Better. Turning the music down just a little bit more.
Yeah, turn the music down.
Yeah. All right.
A little better for us. Testing 1, 2, 3.
All right.
It's better.
Awesome. Well, listen, we are, and I just lost my sound altogether, I think. There we go. Got it. We're good. Yes, but this gathering of clergy from all over is just an awesome experience. Last year was the first year that we did it totally virtual, but this year it's a hybrid event. I can see some of you in the chat today. I know Adrienne Townsend Benson Chaplain has been in the chat, and she knows what's going on there.
She's been in the place. She's been here in the space.
In the building. That prayer, were you here on Sabbath?
Yes. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we talked, and we're going to have the chaplain be on PRT. We have talked about having her on PRT. She's getting ready to deploy, so we want to make that happen before she heads overseas. So we're looking forward to that in a few weeks.
All right. Well, yeah, so that's what this is, and it typically starts on a Sunday, runs through Wednesday, and it's just an experience where there's crazy preaching. I mean, spirit-filled, uplifting preaching, and there's nothing. I think we said this yesterday. There's nothing like watching preachers watch preaching or listening to preaching, and it's just an uplifting experience. It's a great time for clergy to get away and rest a while. We often are the ones who are doing the preaching. It's awesome to be able to be preached to.
Yes.
And sometimes even, Roger, when we listen to sermons from other preachers, and we'll do that, we'll scroll, but usually those preachers are not preaching to preachers. And there's a difference between listening to a preacher to a congregation as opposed to that congregation being filled with preachers. There's and so, I love it. It's just an awesome experience.
Well, we're being ministered to.
Yeah.
We brought in yesterday when we were here on the live, on the virtual space, we brought in Pastor Pete Palmer, who's the president of Allegheny East. And so the question was asked, how important is PELC? What does it mean to your field, to the people who work in the Allegheny East Conference? And his response was, it is a recharge.
Right.
And I am 100% in agreement with that. When you come to PELC, as a pastor, as a leader, you are recharged. It's kind of time for you to be ministered to. And so these messages, they embrace the pastoral ministry. and they give us different ways on how to minister correctly. And then it helps us to just refresh, to just kind of evaluate what we've been doing so that we can come back even better. So that's from the pastoral side. But then again, it's not just for pastors, y'all. It's for leaders, those who are involved in ministry. So everybody can get something here at PELC.
Listen, I see my wife Cindy in the chat, and she was telling me yesterday, she's like, I don't know what how other pastors' wives feel or lay persons feel. She said, but I love this. I love sitting in and just hearing the praise team and the preaching and the ministry and stuff going on. And so I know that there are lots of lay persons who would identify with that and who would benefit and be edified by what goes on in a place
matter of fact,
like
in the past, you would actually have quite a few folks come from the street. They just come and be a part. And even this year, some were looking to see how they could see it, but unfortunately, you had to register and even possibly exchange some funds in order to get all of the content.
Hey, we want to take a quick. We're going to take you into a live workshop that's going on now. We've done with the morning worship and the preaching part, but there is a live plenary that's going on. And can we give them a sneak peek?
Yeah, we can give them a
there's
sneak
two
peek.
of them. We only have access to one of them at the moment.
Okay.
So we're going to take you guys into the main sanctuary here at Oakwood University and see what's going on in there.
Follow-up is really important when people make decisions.
Now, same as yesterday,
Sunday,
we can't hear
home,
ourselves what's going on in there, but we know that you
we will
can.
talk about when we can have this baptism.
I'm going to take him down just a little bit. So let's tell them, Roger, who's up on the platform right now?
On the platform right now is the Associate Director for Ministerial, Pastor Jose Cortez.
Ministerial for the North American Division. He works there with Dr. Ivan Williams. And his workshop this morning is on, where's my
Multiply.
Multiply.
He's sharing about the initiative that the North American Division has. They have a three-prong initiative: Multiply, Media, and Mentoring. I think it is what the three are. So we're excited about that.
Now, is this the same program that North American Division has when they're going to 3 cities? They're going to pilot 3 cities. I heard Calvin Watkins talk about that about 2 days ago, where there are 3 cities of the North American Division they're going to go into, and then they're going to pour into those cities as a model for evangelism. Is it the same thing, or is it
Not just a model. That's an offshoot, not an offshoot, but it is a outgrowth of the general conferences push to go into the cities.
Okay.
And so the North American Division has chosen. I think it's 5 cities, and 3 of them are in areas where the regional conferences have. So those 3 areas, those 3 cities, I think it's that Kansas City and Chicago are the 3 cities where we have strong work in the regional conferences. So they're planning to not just pour funding in and how to do evangelism. They're actually going to be doing evangelism. Right. So it's not just a how-to, it's a do evangelism kind of situation. So we're excited about how that's going to happen. Unfortunately, it does not touch my particular conference.
Hey, well, listen, let's give them, we're going to give them a good 30 seconds. We're going to be quiet for a little bit and let you just listen in for about 30 seconds or so on Pastor Jose Cortez.
The church is going to grow and multiply as a result of what we're doing together. This is amazing. I love Bible workers, and I know that we have a few in our midst. So I want to tell you that I love you. But my Bible worker interrupted my enthusiastic remarks and said, Pastor, not so fast. And I said, well, sister, what do you mean not so fast?
All right. Dr. Henry, were you blessed by what you just heard?
I couldn't hear a thing.
You are funny, boy. You are funny.
Right, and our apologies, but for us here in this studio, we are not able, and it's probably user error on our part, but we're not able to hear what's going on in there. But it looks like it was good. Looks like he's engaging.
He's waxing eloquently.
So are we able to go into the other
yes, you can.
workout room?
We can. We would have to do it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna see if I can. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna see if I can work that out.
Weren't we able to turn it up here? I guess it was a different. Okay.
So, yes, that's right, Timothy. We love Pastor Cortez also. His enthusiasm is always on point, and that thick accent of his. I love it. All right.
Much love. You know, here at PELC, we really see the relationship between the local church and the other entities we see. And I think that's a wonderful thing about PELC. A lot of times, when you're in the local church setting, sometimes you don't know the value of the other entities within our structure. But when you come to PELC, you actually see it. You actually see the division and what they're doing to help out the local churches. You will find the conferences and how you see them as well helping out the local churches. So this is a good place to be if you want to see all of these entities within our structure working together. And that's what it's all about. We're trying to promote the gospel, and the help is here, and they're actually just laying out to you the ways that the other entities can help out the local church. Another thing too that I'm learning here at PELC, that I've learned for years, is that they're big on appreciating people, right? And I think that's a good thing, because a lot of times, the worker works, and although we're not working for recognition, we know that we're working for God, but it is good when we can recognize the work of individuals, and what that does, it gives motivation to other workers, right? That the same God that has been good to you, it can also be good to me, and has been good to me. And so I like that piece in PELC, where they recognize workers. And what we've discovered, I think they started to do this, Pastor Wade, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, when they started to recognize workers. And this year, they recognized Pastor O.H. Paul.
Yes.
That was my pastor, Pastor Paul's father, but that was my pastor. He baptized me. And so it was so good to know that they recognized the work that Pastor Paul has done. And then we had also Pastor Brian Mann, one of my colleagues in ministry when I was there in the Central States area, a wonderful worker for the Lord, powerful preacher, just a wonderful person. And so it was good to see that they recognized him as well. And so again, at PELC, you see this relationship, right? Recognition, and also you see entities and how they're all related together, collaborating together to bring about great things within the local church.
Yeah.
We have an issue.
Okay. We've been trying to work on getting you into the other breakout. It's actually being hosted by Kirk Nugent. Some of you that are in this space, virtual space, know that Kirk Nugent is a digital ministry guru. He is... he's the go-to guy for so many of us when we're trying to figure out how to navigate ministry in this virtual space.
Yes.
And I think PELC, we're having some little issues getting into that room. Okay. So we're gonna just keep you here, and we're keeping the volume down because we don't want to get in trouble with PELC, because you were supposed to pay to have to hear all this stuff. So we're gonna.
I think they said, Pastor Paul, that a package will be available to the people online.
Post PELC, yeah.
Right, so that they can get these messages. Everything will be available to you for small costs, so that you can replay all of the sermons, and then you can also replay the workshops, and it's just a good thing. You see, our co-host Pastor Wade had to leave. He is actually a big part of the media part of this whole program. So, with his responsibilities as the South Central conference communication director. This falls within his territory, so he is busy. So we praise God for him. Pastor Paul, listen, you've been here for, I think you've been here since Saturday, since Sabbath. What is one of the most memorable moments here at PELC?
Oh, wow. One of my most memorable moments here at PELC. For me, it's hard to, man, there's so many awesome parts in these sermons, but it's been the preaching moments to be sure. It's been that. Dr. Lee, man, William Lee, that first sermon on Monday morning. The champ is here.
The champ is here, yeah.
Just how he preached that sermon. He told that story, and of the rumble in the jungle.
Yes.
And between Muhammad Ali and who was that? George Foreman.
Uh-huh.
George Foreman, yeah. And that was the second time that they met up. And as he just told that story about the idea that every time during the week prior to the match, Muhammad Ali would walk into the auditorium, and there was this big African drum that was set up around the ring.
Yes, sir.
And every time Muhammad Ali would walk into the auditorium, he would pass by those drums, and he would beat the drums,
yes,
ba-doom, ba-doom, and say, "The champ is here, the champ is here." And every single day, and I don't want to tell the story. Y'all got to catch the video.
You got to get that sermon.
Yeah. or watch Dion Henry's sermon when he preaches that and tells that story, because I know I sure am.
Hey, listen, the wonderful thing about PELC, though, you learn so many stories and so many illustrations, and you just bring it back. That's what we do as preachers. We learn from one another, right? Because we're all working together. So, yeah, the preaching of the word, Pastor Paul, I like what you said. The preaching of the word is powerful. Yeah. And one of the things that I like about this PELC, and we're just talking about this PELC. Other PELCs, I guess, were the same thing. But the preachers, I was drawn in how they were preaching from the word. Now, you may say, well, you're talking about Pastor, everybody's supposed to preach from the word. Listen, you and I know that sometimes people don't preach from the word. They preach all kinds of other things, and these preachers got into the word, right? Yeah. And they dissected the text. They went back to the text. A lot of these preachers that preached, they started with the text, gave some illustrations on it, started to, relate to it, but then they went back to the text. And I think that's good preaching. When you can preach and go back to the text so that we get the beginning, we get the end, and now it makes an impact
all the
on
juice
our life.
in the middle.
And the juice in life. So I like that. I like the preaching of the word during this.
We had one preacher this year that preached his entire sermon with his Bible in his hand, closed, didn't open it, not one time. But he was reciting passage after passage, text after text. He had what's that scripture say? Thy word have I hid in my heart. He had that word in his heart. He didn't have to open it because he knew that he had spent enough time prior to that preaching moment to be able to really wax eloquent. And it's not even about the eloquence. It's about the truth that is there in the word. I want to welcome Roger back.
I like that screen that they have at Oakwood.
Oh, that screen that you see behind Pastor Cortez right there.
Does anyone know a little bit about that screen and what type? I mean, that's great.
Listen, we've been having some technical issues here. We are using cutting-edge technology, bringing signals from one place to the next. So one of the rooms had a tech, and I just had to step out. So forgive me for jumping back and jumping in, but I came in under question under tech.
That screen. Pastor, do you know anything about that screen?
That screen is a typical LED screen. Mm-hmm. It can do video and graphics. That they kind of use it mainly for graphics with some movements.
Yeah. I see a question in the chat from Yvetta Harris Hodges. She hasn't typed it yet, but she was wanting to know how she could sponsor one of those screens for New Hope Seventh-day Adventist Church in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
She hasn't typed it yet.
She hasn't typed that question yet, but I know that's the burning question on her heart right now.
She just needs the Cash App and some Paul.
Okay.
Yes, yes. That's all you need to do is Cash App Anselm
To
Paul.
the tune of let's
To the tune of it's averaging about $58,000.
Oh, okay. I thought she was getting nervous for a little while. Yeah. But when you just said when it was only 58,000, I think she felt a lot more comfortable with that. So appreciate you, Yvette. Looking forward to hearing from you. All right. So Dr. Henry, what else, or Roger, what else is on the schedule for today? This is the last day.
This is the last day. These two seminars, and then we have one more preaching service. Yes. Man, I tell you, you can't get enough. Pastor Bill Winston, the president of the South Atlantic Conference, he's going to come. And he's going to challenge us as we prepare to hit the road. Number of pastors have already left, but there are quite a few that are still here. And those who are connecting via the virtual, you will be able to enjoy that message.
Wow,
good stuff.
So let me ask you, what's next? What's next after PELC? What's the next biggest event for the clergy and leaders in North America?
This guy that we're looking at on the screen, his department.
His department, yes.
2022 Called Conference, the Called Conference in Lexington, Kentucky. Roger, tell us about that. What's going on with that, man?
Well, every division of the Seventh-day Adventist Church has some kind of meeting for their pastors. And so about a couple years ago, the ministerial department of the North American Division decided that they were going to do something for their pastors. And at the last General Conference, just before, when we had it in 2015, when we were in San Antonio, they had a pastors' meeting, a ministerial meeting for pastors in the city of Austin.
Yes.
And then we went down and enjoyed General Conference. The plan was to do that again in Lexington, and then everyone will travel to, I forgot where GC was going to, St. Louis. They were going to travel up to St. Louis, was a couple hours away, and in St. Louis they would have GC in 2020. But with COVID, things got kind of pushed, and now call had to be rescheduled. So it was rescheduled to 2022, and so it's still in Lexington, June 19th through the 22nd.
All right.
June 19th through the 22nd.
And I understand that's going to be very similar to PELC in terms of there's going to be an in-person experience as well as a virtual experience for Called.
That is the plan now. When they originally started, it was simply going to be a in-person event.
Oh, in-person. Okay.
Yes. But actually, what has happened, the Pastors Roundtable, come on, say, we have been influential to start sharing with them. Why not do a virtual segment?
I'm not going to let them see the preacher's stuff. They're going to have to pay for that.
in my meeting with the youth department and this information that we're planning to do with them, we wanted to do a virtual piece. So we did do that. And so I think everyone now is looking towards a virtual aspect to the call conference. So pastors who are not able to come for some reason are still going to be able to connect and be a part.
Listen, I want to make sure that I go back and check the replay of Pastor Cortez, because Pastor Paul just put something on the screen. Did you put that on the screen, Pastor Paul, or was it just for us?
No, that was him. He was putting that on his
screen.
Screen.
Yeah, but did our viewers see that?
Yeah, they saw that first slide that was going up there.
Baptism is a birth, not a graduation. I got to go back and hear
that's good stuff.
Pastor Cortez has
Listen, and I hope we all understand that. That's a great point. Baptism is a what, Dr. Henry?
Baptism is a birth, not a graduation. Now listen, this is really messing with us now because I don't know. Growing up in the church, it seemed as if this was a graduation. In fact, when we do our revivals and tent meetings and so forth, they would go through the studies and say you're going to graduate, and then after that was
That's the
baptism.
term that we would
So
use. You
I
would
don't
graduate
know.
from the Bible study lessons, and we would hold. That's what we'd call it. We'd hold a grand graduation
Right.
underneath the tent.
That's
and-
right.
Yeah.
And after that graduation.
Yeah.
So I got to hear what Pastor, look, at PELC, they challenge our traditional thinking, just like the sermon today. Pastor Fordham, you know Pastor Fordham, very innovative. His whole thing is mission
and methodology.
He's not stuck to a certain method. The method must fit the mission, right?
Yeah.
Mission is first. And so he challenged us on a few things this morning. And so I got to go back to hear Pastor Cortez, though, because that's challenging the thinking that we traditionally have in Adventism.
Yeah, I have a petition that I think I want to start and send to the PELC committee. I'll tell you about that just before we close. But I want you I have. It's not that I have aught against them. I just have an idea.
Okay. Okay.
And I want to see if that has any merit with my colleagues here at the desk, or anybody else that's watching today.
Okay. So you're gonna wait to the end to give us this
Yeah,
idea?
when y'all ready to sign off, because I want to go and catch part of Kirk's stuff.
Yeah, well,
yes.
we're gonna have to start moving because he's on his questions and answers time.
Oh, no. Well, listen.
Okay.
We got to wrap this thing up.
I
Pastor.
already missed that. Then.
But listen, I just want to, as we get ready to close, we want to just let you know that this Sabbath we will be back at Pastor's Roundtable, 3 o'clock Eastern,
Yes.
2 o'clock Central, and we are going to have with us
Yes. Doctor.
a guru in leadership.
Yes.
Dr. Henry, it's just spilling out
It's
your
spilling
lips.
out.
Share with us.
Listen.
Who's our
Hey,
guest
hey.
on?
Wait, Pastor Paul,
Yeah.
you were going to
Yeah.
say something?
I gotta bring
you
this
got
brother
the-
in. I gotta bring him in. Just come on, scoot
Come
around
on
this
in.
table, man.
Come
We gotta
on in,
get
man.
in. And you're gonna
Come
have
on
to duck in
in.
behind one of us here. Yeah, this guy behind us, right here. Yeah, that's the
is
best
the
spot.
man.
Kagia Scott. Scott, say
What are y'all
hello
in
to the
here talking
audience.
about?
We're
Listen,
just talking about what's
We're
going
here at
on.
PELC. We know a lot of you all are virtual, and you all got just as much or more. I love the fact, man, that we have both of these things going on, in person and in virtual. And we need, listen, I'm a preaching or what?
You preaching.
We need to do this thing in our churches.
Oh,
we
that's
need
right.
to be able to be virtual
Yes, sir.
and have a service. I'm not talking about fly on the wall. I'm not talking about you just watching what we're doing in there. No, we need a virtual service.
That's right.
And a regular service,
That's
man,
right.
because some of our people can't come to church. Some of them are sick. Some of them have been at home, and they've been having to go to the Hope Channel, and they've been having to find other stuff. But we need to be able to provide for our members to keep coming, even if they can't come. And some of them can come.
Oh, wait a minute now.
And
Come
they
on
ain't
now.
gonna
Come
come.
on now.
Some of them learn. Hey, some of them learn how to go to church in their pajamas, and I kind of like this. So yeah, my wife is a nurse, man. How many nurses work on Sabbath,
Yeah.
and need to be able to come home and still go to church? I love the fact that
Yes.
even when my wife gets home at 7 p.m. on the Sabbath, she can still go back and catch her a service.
There you go.
And so,
There you go.
hey, man, this thing is now.
good. It's
Hey,
good.
what's the name of this? Where we at right now? This thing is now.
Oh,
all right? Yeah.
Well,
So
listen-
don't even start talking like this is future.
That's right. This is now.
This is now.
Listen, now.
All right?
Now.
Sorry. What's up?
No, I was going to say, what's your favorite moment here at PELC? You've been here for the last couple of days. What's your favorite moment here at PELC?
My favorite moment, man, is the goosebumps that I get, man, when listening to
Come on.
Goosebumps.
I'm talking about, you got a praise team. Usually you got like 5 people standing around 5 mics. We got an all-star praise team.
All-star.
That has been
Yes.
all my favorite praise singers. I've been down here together.
And you know what I
Like
noticed the other day?
collaborating.
There's so many of them that are
Yeah.
preachers.
Yes.
The
We got
majority.
a lot of singing preachers. A lot of singing preachers.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's coming from a place of, look, I've been through some stuff, all right?
Yes.
I've been through some stuff. Come with me as I've been through some stuff, and I'm about to worship God from that place.
Yes.
From that place of God brought me through. And just come with me. And they just been bringing us in, man. And I'm telling you, I haven't preached this week. So I've been able to sing with them. At my church, I can't sing with the praise team because my voice be gone before it's time for me to go.
I wonder
Man.
why. This brother.
The veins are popping out of my neck, man. I've been singing with the praise team, man, and they've been killing it, man. And not to mention all the great sermons. But you asked me for one, and I
us one.
say it's been the praise team, Doc.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so true. That is so true.
Hey man, listen. This I want you all to know that this table is not actually round. I want y'all to know, just in case y'all been fooled by these brothers. This table is some odd shape. It's like triangular.
Yeah, we're in a borrowed space. We're in a borrowed space today. Pastor Scott, good to see you, man. Thank you for stopping by.
Praise God for you,
All
God.
right. By the way, that is Pastor Kagia Scott. You can catch him as a part of the WOW worship service. That's the Now North Carolina Online Worship.
Yes,
They do something
yes.
every Wednesday.
Collaborative.
Collaborative.
Yes.
Awesome. He is a cog, one of the 3 cogs in
Yes.
that Now Worship wheel, and just an honor and a pleasure to have him stop by our tape. I'm gonna call it the round table.
It's the round
Stop
table.
by the round table.
Yeah. That's the PRT.
There we go.
PRT.
Yeah.
The
Yes,
PRT.
sir.
It's funny when they were sharing with us in the front at the live desk. They don't call each of us individually. We're just the PRT.
Yeah.
I thought that was
And listen,
interesting.
we work together as a
We
team.
work together as a team. But listen, before I know we want to run so you can get some of the presentations. But this Sabbath we have a special guest with us, Dr. Henry. I know you've been dying. Share with us who is going to be at the table.
Let me tell you something. This Sabbath, we are going to be talking about leadership, right? And what a time to talk about leadership. I mean, right now, the pandemic, a lot of times I'm hearing post-pandemic, but I don't know, guys. I think we're still in this thing. But we need leadership now. We need people to step up. And so we reached out and we got in contact with a guru, a person that has been a leader in different areas and different aspects of our church, a conference president. He also pastored a church, and the church grew. They did so many churches he pastored, but one in particular, the church grew, and they did so many miraculous things in that church. They call it Miracle Temple.
Miracle Temple.
Yeah.
So we're going to have with us on this Sabbath Dr. Freddie Russell.
Freddie Russell.
And we are just excited to see what the Lord is going to say through his manservant on this Sabbath.
You know, we learned last night that Dr. Freddie Russell was instrumental, was not just instrumental, but was a part, a main cog in the wheel of moving from Evangelism Council to what is PELC.
Yes.
And I remember somebody called, I think it was Puck, called it out last night. He said, some of us still remember Innovative Impact.
That's right.
Yes.
And I was there. Dr.
Yes.
Henry, you and I were both there.
I was there also.
In Baltimore, Maryland, when that first Innovative Impact took place, and it was with that move from Innovative Impact, and then Innovative Impact kind of merged with what was Evangelism Council to become what we now know as PELC. And so I'm very much looking forward to spending the time on this weekend with Dr. Freddie Russell.
Same here.
And you know what? I was going to say this. Just like it was Evangelism Council, now it's PELC. Let's not think that we're ending here. Right?
Yeah, might be. Yeah,
because God's Spirit is moving. You just never know.
This is a method.
This
is a method. It's not the mission. Yeah.
Right. This is a method that's working right now. But because we're on mission, you just never know where this thing will turn.
That's right.
So that we can be relevant. Oh, man. Resource
and real. Come on now.
Real.
All right. Here's my thing I got to throw out, Raj, before we go. My petition thing that what would you guys think about if PELC, like every 4 or 5 years, did a destination PELC? That we went to, I don't know, Hawaii, Jamaica, somewhere, and brought families and stuff along. What would you guys think about that idea? We took it every so often, that we took it somewhere where people, because this is nice, but I'm looking at the schedule was so full. And I look at how hard you guys have been working, Raj.
But no matter where we go, we're going to still be working hard.
But what I'm saying is that you could
schedule.
Space out that schedule. You wouldn't have to jam-pack the schedule.
The schedule is jammed because of the time to get pastors away from their areas and get them back so they can be there for the next weekend. So it's not necessarily the place. It's the fact that we just have so much to do.
Okay, so let me clarify. Let me clarify that. So I'm
Okay.
not just talking about a place, but also stretching it out a little bit longer, so that you would have some downtime with your families. That Dion could go and take his wife jet skiing, or because a lot of times pastors, you don't really get to take that kind of time that you would like to do just to relax and to chill. You go on a vacation somewhere, you show up on Sabbath in the church and somebody wants you to come up and preach or to come up and give a prayer or something that's still in, but to be able to just go and just to be able to Selah, to do that. I'm wondering if that would get any traction, just to go somewhere different.
Yeah, I think PELC. Of course, I like
Oh,
it
I'm
here.
sorry, because we're also here in Huntsville, Alabama, in December, wearing, doing this stuff.
Oh,
The other one, we were in the snow one year during PELC and all this stuff. So,
Well, you know what? I'm thinking, as you mentioned that idea,
Florida boy talking.
doing PELC every 5 years somewhere else. How about doing PELC every 5 years simultaneously with somewhere else? Meaning, and when I say somewhere else, taking it out of North America, bring it to UK, bring it to Jamaica. And so at the same time that you're having PELC here in Huntsville, Alabama for those 3 days, you're doing it in Jamaica those 3 days and so forth. And it's a hybrid type of thing. And so you're going back and forth, how you doing it. Maybe something like that, is something that could be explored. Then, if you just want to take PELC and say every 5 years do something else, and you have to not worry, but you have to think about the ministerium that happens every 5 years too. So you don't want to be in competition with that. But I think something can be done to take what's happening here and another campus and maybe out, because this is international. I think one of the things that PELC has brought to the pastors here in the North American division is that we are an international church. And so even before COVID, we had people coming from all over, that were coming and participating and doing a whole lot of things to empower us and to educate us. And so if we had some type of PELC somewhere else and did this at the same time, a hybrid thing, that would, I don't know.
Interesting. Cool.
Be very, very interesting. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, we talked about coming on here for about 15 minutes. I'm looking at the clock. We've been on here 39 minutes and 30 seconds.
It always happens.
We
it always
get paid
happens.
to talk. That's what we do. That's how we get paid. Is we
always
run
happens.
our mouths. So listen, we appreciate you all stopping through today. We hope that you've been blessed by getting this little window into what's happening. I'm going to switch back over as we wrap up, so you can see some of the stuff that's going on in the sanctuary there.
Amen.
I guess that's a slide. Looks like some baptisms going on. That's the ultimate goal is discipleship. Baptism simply being an indication that somebody has decided to follow Jesus, and that's the goal of everything that we want to do here at PELC, to equip you. I'm not both at PELC and at the Pastors Roundtable,
right,
to resource you, to be relevant to you, to be real to you in the pursuit of winning men and women, boys and girls to relationship with Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Right. All right.
Roger, go ahead, man. Take us out.
All righty. I was just listening to make sure that everything is working on the other side, but they are continuing sharing about what Pastor Cortez is sharing there on baptism and showing them about multiplying and prepping, inspiring those in attendance about that. And Cook Nugent is sharing about content creating in the other room. Wow. So today we're just excited to have, I'm excited to have my colleagues here with me in Huntsville. We've had a good time sharing with the live desk at PELC and sharing here with you, our family.
This is the family.
Here at Pastors Roundtable, where we strive to make ministry relevant,
resourced,
and real.
All
God
right.
bless.
Take
All
care,
right.
everybody.
See you this weekend.
See you next
See you